Hello, my team video. Today we're gonna take a look at the team that got to rank 1 on the leaderboards last time around. At least while I'm recording this, and also, yeah, while I did the battles. There's still no leaderboard out for this season for whatever reason. Niantic just forgot about this entirely. Not surprised, to be fair. Maybe they're out right now when you see this video. Might be the case, don't know. But yeah, this team was a team that hit rank 1 on the leaderboards last time around when this cup was available. I made a video about it as well. You can check out the old one as well if you want to see more gameplay for this team. Here my opponent makes a great catch on the Metagross on my body slam. Very, very good there from them. But in general, this team is pretty interesting. We're going to have the Dragonite in the lead, preferably best buddied, but I don't have the best buddies, so it's a little bit trickier. We're going to have our Magnezone in the back, preferably non-Shadow. I think non-Shadow is way better. The player I think that played it also had non-Shadow version as well, as far as I remember. So, yeah, like I don't think that the Shadow version really helps you here. I don't really think that that helps you in general. The main issue with the Shadow version is actually the matchup against Gyarados. Waterfall Gyarados, even though your fast moves are double super effective, can be really annoying. But also can be really annoying would be Excadrill, as you saw there already. Can be a little bit annoying. It really depends on where you face it in the game. Excadrill itself is actually still kind of fine. The funny thing is, Dragonite is actually not that bad against Excadrill in the 1 vs 1. If you have the same amount of energy and the same amount of shields, it's actually pretty decent. I think you would even win straight Dragonclaw sometimes, depending, but otherwise Super Power, of course, would knock them out, which is one pretty easy move to achieve there. And you kind of as a Dragonite there, definitely you don't want to throw the first move, because if you throw the superpower, you get debuffed, but you can survive one Rock Slide without any issues, without, like, before you debuff yourself. So, like, you don't have to shield the first one against an Excadrill as well. We're most likely going to face some Excadrill leads later on as well. And yeah, what can I say about this team? This team definitely still works out if you're looking for a team to use. This might be some for you. It's pretty easy to get as well. Again, you don't really want to have the Shadow Magnezone. I run the Shadow Magnezone because I have that for ages already. I haven't built a normal one. I should build a normal one for the next time this cup comes around, because I don't think I'm going to power up my Shadow to level 50. I have actually a 100% lucky version of that Pokemon, but yeah, for this cup I'm currently very low on Stardust, which is actually funny. I saw some comments recently on how I get to Stardust and how can I showcase everything immediately. I also don't get anything sponsored from Niantic or anything like this. I also have to play with fair stuff there, so I don't cheat my Stardust. I actually spend a lot of money on the game for star pieces, for incubators, for grinding in general. I actually don't grind that much anymore, but for like any event or whatever where it's worth it to use star pieces, I have star pieces on the entire time, I have incubators on the entire time. It's something that I just need to do those videos, which I wouldn't recommend anybody else. It's of course cool to hatch a lot of Pokemon, but it's actually really not worth it. Like, X are a scam right now. I literally just do it for Stardust, and also started recently using extra rate, like what's called like premium rate passes for Go Battle League. So yeah, Stardust is also low for me, so I wasn't able to build another Pokemon for this cup, and I don't really want to build another one here, so I'm going to stick with my Shadow Magnezone here, which is a little bit worse, but we will actually still get to the move here, which was really important. I play a lot of games pretty horrible. I was really sleepy both of the time. One set I played where I just woke up, and the other sets I played when I just was falling asleep. So it's most likely why also a lot of gameplay is not ideal, and I think I could have won a lot of more games if I was just concentrating a little bit more, knowing the team a little bit more. And this is a thing that I in general can say all the time. If you are thinking, oh, this team might not work for me, maybe give it just a little bit more, like a little bit longer time there, because a lot of times it's just you not really knowing how to play with the team. At least for me, it's a lot of times as well the case. I feel like like if I just like play a team for like 2-3 sets, I kind of get a grip of a lot of situations on how to handle that. So don't throw away a team immediately. Try to learn it and try to improve on some matchups that you maybe don't know yet, or where you can see, oh, I made a mistake there, or we see like, okay, maybe I need to go and throw Body Slam first and chip them away and then swap out. Stuff like this is something that you just learn by playing the game. So yeah, we will see actually that we can still get to a Dragonclaw in time, knocking out the opponent. And I expected them to have a Metagross. It's a pretty common line to have like double steal in the back. And Metagross against the Magnezone here is going to be an easy win for Magnezone. Like, there's nothing they can do here anymore. Especially if they're gonna go ahead and let the first move go through. They're going to have to shield up my next move here now. They're going to be debuffed here as well. And the funny thing is, I will be able to even survive the next move, go for my next charge move, and I will win this game pretty easily. Good game there. Next opponent, we will face them at, like, actually the first games I played after the games you're going to see now. Horrible lead for us, the Togekiss in the lead and then a fighter in the back is pretty horrible. Pretty good combination though if you want to use something funnier like Togekiss lead plus a fighter in the back is something that can really help you in the current meta. There are a lot of Pokemon that are weak to fighting type Pokemon, which is really cool. But here we will be seeing the most likely it's Rock Slide or it's a Stone Edge, which doesn't really matter. Like, honestly, I think Rock Slide is the better way to go. If you want to run Stone Edge, but champ, here we get completely hardwalled, by the way, like completely hardwalled. There was nothing we could do, like Togekiss against the Dragonite, Machamp against our Snorlax, the Excadrill, whatever. No, it was the Garchomp against our Magnezone there, so basically a perfect hardwall. But yeah, if you want to use the Machamp there with Stone Edge, then you have to have a Shadow version as far as I know, because then you can one-shot stuff like Gyarados and Dragonite, but the normal one just doesn't pack the punch really, so like you should definitely try to go ahead and use a Shadow version there if you can. Of course, getting a good Shadow Pokemon is a little bit tricky, but I think actually currently they are in like a leader, so you can actually farm them, so it's kind of nice, but yeah. We will be able to go for one superpower here, which is also kind of nice. Sadly, they survived this, which is a very good call by the opponent here, because I didn't expect them to survive it. They're gonna go ahead and go into the Milotic. I was a little bit brain naive there, and I should have stopped out earlier. It took my time to swap. Doesn't really matter, because you can still go for one superpower. And superpower, I think, does a little bit more damage than Dragon Claw. So we're going to do actually a ton of damage against them here. Going to shield up the first one. I don't think actually even a Hyper Beam would knock us out from this range. We are bulky, they are not really attack weighted. So this will do a ton of damage here against them already as well. We're going to be able to go for another Body Slam, and they don't even get to another Hyper Beam or like a Blizzard, whatever they're running here. So it's going to be a good game, as Excadrill going to get licked down. Next opponent, we will see here the Primarina. Very decent lead. You thought, no, it's not. It's of course not a decent lead. It's going to be the Waterfall version though, which might be a little bit better for me. Actually, no, I think Waterfall is actually worse here as well. Yes, my Dragonite can do a little bit better against it, but still, you don't have any move to hit it either, and then you're going to get more damage against your Magnezone, so I don't think it's really the smartest, like it's not the best thing for me at least. We see the opponent still getting to move here, force let go through, and usually if people run Primarina, they are running also a Pokemon in the back that I don't like to see, and it's Excadrill. This just happens, like, in general, I just put in some hard counter games here as well. Stuff like this just happens. Like, there was literally, again, nothing I could do. Another Fairy type in the lead, another Fighter in the back, and then the Excadrill to finish off the last Pokemon. It's not the most common team, to be fair. I just only faced it when I had this team around, which is kind of awkward because, like, I would have liked them with some other teams, but, like, in this team, it's pretty awkward to face it like this. We can go for one Dragon Claw, we can win this first lead here, which is going to be nice, and they're going to go into a Pokemon that I actually like to see here, but not like to see them getting a ton of farm. We will be able to go ahead and go into our Snorlax against the opponent's Excadrill. We can get a ton of energy here, of course, as they can go for one draw run, they can go for another one, but no, they're gonna go into a Gyarados here. Gyarados will not appreciate the wild charges. I will be able to let this move go through, and the main reason for this is I don't want to give them a ton of energy, so I will be able to go for my charge move here, knocking them out, and now they basically only get one mud shot against me, which is the most valuable thing there, because now I don't think it does matter what they do here. Draw coming through, it doesn't really matter. I can go for one superpower here already. They're going to shield this move up, fine for me. I can go for another one now. And even if they survive it, I still can lick them down. Good game to my opponent. Next one coming up already. Let's see what they're going to bring against us here. Maybe they bring some spice with Primarina again. Stuff like this just happens. This time again, Waterfall version here, whatever it is. And I think now we are unaligned. That's kind of nice, to be fair. I actually liked being a little bit unaligned, especially as they go for another charge move here. I can let this move go through. If we're fearing some hard counter in the back still, we will face a Powdon. I know already what it's going to be in the back now. I know already that's going to be the Excadrill in the back, so it's going to be a little bit awkward to win this game. as far as I know at least. This is again the Tactical's team from like 2 seasons ago or something. People still running this. If they have an opponent, of course you can do that. I don't have an opponent, so I don't want to use the Pokemon really. As well, Shadow opponent is pretty cool as well. You can farm down stuff a little bit easier, but this opponent is also pretty bulky. It's most likely going to be Primarina coming in. I wanted to farm up a little bit extra, but of course, as said before, Excadrill in the back. Facing this team twice now is kind of wild because I think I faced it in all the games I played so far, which is around, I think 100 and something, 200 or something. I think I've faced it 4 times and like 2 times here, which is like it doesn't really show everything for this team. I think this team would be way better, but I just was unlucky facing this. I think I faced 3 complete hard counter where I had no chance at all already. So yeah, it's just something that happens. Here we can at least go for 1 mirror shot against the opponents Gyarados. We will be able to knock them out, but hard counter just happening go badly. That's something that also, well, people need to realize. It's not an algorithm, but especially in a meta like this, which is a lot of RPS, to be fair, hard counter is just going to happen eventually, and they are coming all the time. Like, there's nothing that you can really prevent it for. There is no team around that doesn't have a hard counter lineup that will be around as well, especially in this meta here. It's a very dense meta, which makes this basically happen all the time. If you have something that's like a Great League Cup, for example, where a lot of Pokemon are really viable, then you usually don't have stuff like this. But even I think in the normal Great League now, with the takeover of Noctowl, Medicham, and Stunfisk, it's kind of RPS as well again. It's something that I don't really like, especially looking recently at those regionals. It's kind of awkward to see like basically everybody playing exactly the same, and it really depends on how you play some matchups, of course. But yeah, here, by the way, you saw a bug. I was not able to, like, I wouldn't have been able to win this game there without the bug. Here right now, if you have currently a 1-turn fast move, I don't know if it's just for Dragon Breath, but it's definitely, I know that it is definitely for Dragon Breath. There's no way currently, I think, that you can simultaneously KO your opponent yourself, basically, with 1-turn fast moves, which means always someone going to win, but it's just random who wins at the end. Honestly, it's actually better, because you're going to have at least someone getting more rewards from that. But it doesn't really make too much sense. Like, this should have been a tie the game before, which I just now won. But I take it, but I think it's just a little bit stupid that this is currently a thing. Also a little bit stupid how I play this game. This is, I think, something I completely misplay from the get-go. There's not a lot that I do right here. I will be able to go ahead and go for some Dragon Claws, at least against the opponent here. That's going to be in Conkeldurr. There is not a lot that I can do against this Conkeldurr, though, because we are already 2 shields behind them. I can go for another charge move here. Going to be Dragon Claw, gonna get them low as we face off against them with our Snorlax. Snorlax not going to have the greatest time either here, and that's going to be sadly a loss for sure. You see me actually getting wrecked here pretty hard sometimes. We see the Magnezone coming in, we at least get the shield. Can we still get to move? No, of course not. They have a ton of energy now. They can go for a charge move here. It's going to be most likely the wild charge, and we're going to lose this game, but still a good game. Last and final game, we see the Gyarados in the lead. Gyarados in the lead is pretty fine for us, especially if they have the fast move of Waterfall. Very good for us that we see a Primarina coming in. We can go up to 2 moves here basically, and getting a 2 shield advantage is very important here. But we only get a 1 shield advantage because they're going to go back again into their Gyarados. Pretty sure they are running a double charm team here. They're going to go ahead and go for an Awkward Tail. They're going to knock me out and can go back into my Gyarados, to my Dragonite here. Dragonite can go for a charge move, knocking them straight out here as we actually see the shield coming up. Never mind. But I think, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Fairy type in the back, and they're going to double shield, and we're going to see a Togekiss in the back. Totally fine for us. We have the Snorlax. We can just go ahead and go for the Body Slam, and this should do some nice damage against them. We hopefully get to the next one in time, but no, they can go for another move. If they boost here, it's going to be tricky, but if they don't boost, which they do not do, luckily, I will be able to easily win this game now at this point of time. There's not a lot that they can do about it, and this is also going to be it for the video. This team is definitely still working pretty well. Pretty unlucky with a few matchups. I basically only really lost those matchups where I got hardwalled, but yeah, this is definitely a cool team that you can still use. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye!